Oh, they come out. But you want, Joshua, you want ones like that. You see where you can see the little pieces of plastic, hopefully, in the middle? Those are lanes. So you got a lane for each cable in there. But don't look at it on the top. Don't look at it with this side. With this side. So all those little lanes in there. This one's not as good. So yeah, it's only got lanes like up to the near the end of the RJ45. You want ones that come out here if you can get them. But this is gonna work. So look, we've made a bad cable, right? It's not good anymore. We pulled the sheath out. Might even still work, but it's a bad cable now. So we're gonna get it in here. We're gonna cut off what's probably bad. We're gonna assume there's more than a little bit bad. I'm gonna use this tool. You don't have to, but a lot of these will come with a little groove in here that fits these perfectly, and it'll have a little adjustment directly on it, but I'm lazy. I use this tool. If you get that, you need to make sure that that's nice and low. Go lower than you need to, just like baking with salt or what have you, right? So less is more. The less you do, the more you can go up. You can only fuck it up so bad though. So if we inspect where we cut, we don't see any odd cuts inside it. So now we're gonna fan these out. And if you are colorblind, this is a lot harder, but it can be done. You just have to identify what these colors look like to you, and then identify what these colors actual, and then get yourself a plan of action from there. We had a guy that was colorblind, and we were able to get him to successfully work with it, but he was, I think he was red-green, so that may have been easier for him, who knows. But you've got orange, white, orange, green, white, blue, blue, white, green, brown, white, brown. That's the pattern we're going to use. So that's the B standard, so orange, white, orange is right here. Green, white, orange, white, orange, sorry, orange, white, orange. Got those here. And green, white. And if you look what I'm doing with my fingers, I'm just smoothing it out. So all these other ones might have a little bit of waviness in them. I'm just trying to smooth them, make it a little easier to work with. So orange, white, orange, green, white, blue. So a lot like saying the ABC, it's a lot easier for me to call it out each time. So that's what I'm going to do. I can do this a lot faster when I'm not showing somebody, but we're going to just keep going, right? So orange, white, orange, green, white, blue. And we're going to look for blue, white, which is right here. Blue, white. And we got green. We're going to put green in there. He's our friend. And brown, white, brown. And get all those together. As you can see, I'm just trying to smooth them out and get them, because we know they're gonna sit like this, right, in there. So we're just trying to get that. Don't worry about up here; it's gonna look like shit, but we're not gonna use most of that. So we're gonna take our thumb. You can see my thumb is pretty big, but I'm gonna try to put the end of my thumb right here. I'm gonna try to put that right here. So it's a ball game. It's a ballpark. So it's not a perfect science. So I'm gonna cut off all of that, or maybe a little more, maybe a little less. We'll find out. You've got two different spots. Yeah, this cheap one's got a stripper. Don't use that. Just use the cutter from this. Use this to strip. So now we've got pretty even. We're gonna take. You can ignore that little bastard. We're gonna take this again. Don't look at it like this. You're gonna have a bad time looking at it like this. Look at it like this. It's a lot easier to see. We're just gonna wiggle these guys in there. So we're gonna sit right here and we're gonna look at it. We've got orange, white, orange, green, white, blue, blue, white, green, brown, white, brown, and look, we can see right now we don't. See, we've got brown, brown, white. So we got a problem. We gotta pull it out. We're gonna look at it again. We're gonna read it out again. So we got orange, white, orange, green, white, blue, blue, white, green, brown, white, brown. So we got it right here. So something happened when we were wiggling it in there. and made them sad about it. So we're going to try again. Alright, there we go. So look, you've got orange, white, orange, green, white. Green, white's kind of hard to see, but you'll be able to deduce that later. Green, white, blue, blue, white, green, brown, white, brown. Right? So we're going to shove that in there. And if you've done everything correctly, you can see, right, if we can get it, there we go. You can see that this is the crimp down spot, and we can see that the sheath is well past that, right? So that it's passed on this side. We don't want it back here. You're going to see electricians do that a lot. I'm going to talk shit about electricians because they're always doing this shit. They're always doing A standard, and they're always leaving this shit back here. Don't do either one of those things. Put the sheath inside so it gets the stress on the sheath instead of the cable, and use the damn B standard so that everything works properly. Now we're going to take this tool. As you can see, we've got an 8-pin and a 6-pin. 6 pins RJ11, 8 pins RJ45, 9 times out of 10, but it's going to be the one that fits. So we're going to put it in the way that it's supposed to fit, and then I'm going to push. You can probably see it in my fingers, they're red. I'm pushing on this cable to ensure that they're in there so that those little pins get crushed into the right cable and as deep and as possible onto that cable so we get a really nice connection. We're going to crimp it as hard as we can, and then because I might be a little OCD, whatever it might be, I'm going to do that 3 or 4 times. I'm going to make sure that every last pin got pushed. Maybe one pin didn't get pushed. Maybe one of the pins on this thing is starting to go bad and it's, it's a little rough. So we're just going to triple check everything. Now, you can see here, you've got the sheath pinned up. We've got this pulled back. Now you can cut that back if you want, but I don't care. It doesn't really do anything. It's just a cable that goes all the way through the line. And you can see in here, every single one made it all the way up. So we probably were pretty good. And you can also see that these got pushed up. If you look at the difference here, you can see just a slight variation in where those copper pins are, or gold, or whatever the hell it is. You can see how they've changed and how they've been pushed in. They've been pushed into that cable in a way where they're going to make contact with the copper inside. On this top, you're going to see that they've all made it all the way to the end as well. You want to make sure that that happens. If you don't, you're going to have a bad time. You want to then inspect both sides. Just make sure nothing cracked, nothing got dumb. And then, if you've got a cable tester, which I don't have on me, which is fine, you can inspect both sides, make sure they kind of look the same. Make sure that if you did do one side as a B standard, that you do the other side as a B standard. Now, the cables I make, they're all going to be B standard. So if you're working on any property I've worked on, it's going to be B standard. So this is what you're going to expect. So that should be it. You can test it on a tester, but 9 times out of 10, if you've done those things, that cable's going to be just fine. If it's not for some reason, then you probably got a bad cable further up the line. You need to continue to cut it back until you find that bad portion, or replace the cable entirely, depending on how bad it is.